Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Brought to you by Photography is an Art, Harvey Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard, Burbank, California. Attorney Ron Irwin's book, Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart. Author Larry Buford's book, To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. State Farm agent Carla Green and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. Roll it, Tony.
Sir, you need to see this.
Where'd you get this image?
The satellite feed.
There's a satellite above the debris field? Blinded. No one talks to the press.
Dr. Price Johnson worked for them.
No one talks to Google. No one talks to the families. No one talks to no one. This never happened. Are we clear? Are we clear?
That was just a small taste of our first guest today. Born in Chicago, Illinois, he attended Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, and later Roosevelt University, where he received a degree in education and political science and became a teacher. He later got into a modeling career, and from there he joined the ETA Theater, where he met his mentor, who taught him the Meisner technique and script analysis, and the rest is history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome veteran actor Idress Degas. Idress, welcome to The Actor's Choice, sir.
Thank you, Ron. So glad for you to have me. I'm so honored to be here, and I'm so excited. Excited.
I can feel it. I can feel it across the waves. I can feel it. By the way, who was your mentor at ETA Theater?
That mentor was the late great Okoro Harold Washington.
Oh, yes.
That took a shining to me the moment that I joined acting class. And it just so happened, it's such a small world. Sometimes they say 6 degrees of separation. It just turned out that he was one of the clients of my father. And my dad was cutting his hair for years. And it just so happened that he called my dad, and my dad said, well, take care of my boy. And it looks like he's found his lot in life, and let's see where it goes.
One of the things that I love is when you can take raw talent like you, anybody else, and then mold it into persons like you, because that's how folks become stars. How do you feel about that?
I feel wonderful about that. Just getting a little luck, blessings coming my way, and nearly 50 movies ever since I've started. As you know, I'm from Chicago. To be in this business, Ron, you got to have people that really like you, that see your potential, that see where you want to go, that see your purpose. And it has to be a good fit. And sometimes just because people that may look like you or otherwise, it does not necessarily mean that they have your interests at heart. So it has to be a certain particular lock. I can almost metaphorically say the way you and I met, it has to be a certain interest, that person that says, I like this guy, he seems to know where he's going, and I'm going to help him. And so you got to have a lot of help in this crazy business called Hollywood, because it's not always fair.
Right. You got to have what you have, and that's a good attitude. Got to have a good attitude.
You got to have a good attitude. Exactly. Thank you, Ron. Yeah.
Let's talk about your career. The year was 2004. You got your first IMDb actor credit. It was a small role, a kind of comedy drama called Barbershop 2, Back in Business with Ice Cube and others. What did you learn from that first role?
You know what? It's funny how that morphed into that role, Ron. I started off early that morning as a sidewalk extra. And the third AD had sent for me in the extras holding room when I was filling out my voucher. He went and got me, and he hurried me along and says, hurry up and finish up your voucher. the director wants to see you. At that time for that, the director's name was Kevin Sullivan, a young man out of San Francisco. And he brought me straight to the second AD, then from the second AD to the first AD, and I landed eyes to Kevin Sullivan. He said, I want you to take this barber seat. And they already had someone in that barber seat, but they were done with his scene. And on top of that, they wanted to bump me up to a line. At that time, it was called under five lines. And I sat in that chair giving thanks just for being at the right place at the right time. And the person that was cutting my hair was actually Jane Fonda's son. And I was to get up and primp, look in the mirror, and I said my lines beautifully, and Ice Cube approved of it, and Cedric the Entertainer, and one thing led to the next, and that was my first IMDb credit. It was amazing.
You made a lot of roles of television and film. Some were short, TV movies, etc., with titles like Derailed, Death of a President, The Merry Gentleman, The Porter, Banana Leaves. Remember those days, my brother?
Yes, yes. The Porter was one with me and Sean Blakemore.
Gotcha.
Sean Blakemore, to this day, he's on Greenleaf. But he and I had shared the role together, shared that moment together. And that was about the Pullman Porters of during the 1940s to 1950s. And the director was Vincent Singleton, one of the prolific directors of Chicago. I think he's an adjunct professor at Columbia College back in Chicago. But that's when I learned a lot from him, that less is more. Sometimes you don't have to do too much. It's all with the operation and what you're exuding inside with eye connection and listening. Yeah.
I was thinking to myself just now that all those movies you did, how about all those auditions you had to do?
Oh, it were gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching. But what I've learned is that you go in, you give them what they've never seen before.
Uh-huh.
When you leave out of the audition, Ron, you have to learn and understand that so many actors go through the mental gymnastics of just killing themselves. And I had to learn to subdue all of that, to remain calm. Whatever it is you did in that audition room, you have to leave it in the room and not take it outside and let it ruin the rest of your day, and walking and getting worried and wondering if you got the role. You have to leave it behind you, because sometimes you can do such an excellent rendition of what they're looking for, but it might be the other guy that may have something different that the casting directors or the producer says, aha, I like that. And he may not have done that scene as best as you. So it gets into the very intricate particulars that sometimes you don't even understand. And then sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you land it. And you know that you land it when you go out the door.
Idress, the year was 2010. You played an attorney in the TV series Leverage. My question, were you getting the roles that you wanted at that time in your career?
That was in Chicago, and as luck would have it, that was with Timothy Dalton. Mm-hmm. And there again, my agent at the time in Chicago was Shirley Hamilton. And Shirley Hamilton sent me out for that role. And I went in, and Timothy Dalton was in the room. I didn't even recognize him at first. And it was a scene in which I have to defend someone that was criminally engaged in an activity where they were wrong. They were accused wrongly of it, and I had to lawyer them out of the situation. And I have some friends of mine that were attorneys in Chicago. So what I did through my experiences, I just linked into what they would do. I became that defense attorney. And there again, as luck would have it, I landed that role for Leverage. It was a good series, good movie.
Indeed. You have that that swag about you, my brother. You look good. Good attorney. I can just see it now. Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you, Ron.
No swag. I like that word. I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, that while Idress was doing all those different TV and whatnot, he also was hitting the stage too, wasn't you?
Oh, yes. my first big role was in the Heritage at the Steppenwolf Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you've been to Chicago. If you've done the Steppenwolf, then that is your Broadway in Chicago.
Gotcha.
Because that is the pendulum of how far you can go.
Yes.
The next decision would be either to come to Los Angeles or go to New York. And at that time, I was speaking with the great Woody King of the American Federal Theater. And good guy. If he's watching, God bless you, Woody. He was giving me a decision on what to do. He says, if you want to go to LA, go to LA. If you want to come here, I'll take care of you as soon as you get off the airplane. And in my mind's eye, I came to Los Angeles instead. But going back to the Steppenwolf, that was with the casting director / director Ed Sobel. That there again saw me. I was a prison guard, and he loved what I did in the audition. And one thing led to the next. I ended up booking a bigger role at the Goodman Theater.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So both of those theaters are like our Broadway in Chicago.
Got you. Before coming to LA was our gain and New York's loss. Let's put it that way. Let me take a moment to share with our audience a quote from you that I found in my search. It says, quote, I am the next actor to take Hollywood by storm while keeping Christ first. Can you explain, sir?
Yes. Sometimes Hollywood is sometimes a game that you can get very much caught into.
Yes.
Forget who you are.
Yes.
You can get truly mixed up and lost in the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go into other endeavors that are very dark that sometimes you don't know how to get out of. And you lose your identity. But if you have the base, knowing who you are consciously and whose you are, and that you belong to the Most High, the Supreme Being, the omniscient power that created you, you'll be able to have a strong equal footing when you walk into the door of this game. And nobody can take your lunch money. You just have to stay on the equal footing and remain spiritual. See, I've learned in this faith walk that it's important that Hollywood does not take the whole man and make him the fragmented man. That's very important. There's so many that I have seen since I've been out here since 2008, they become the fragmented man. And part of their soul is gone. It's important to remain the whole man because that's the light that shines that Hollywood sees. And they say, this is something different here that I really want a part of this. But what do I do to intrigue this person to come in? And you have to remain steadfast and very faithful because things can become fair seeming. So that's what I mean by that. Yes, by that quote.
All I can say is 2 words, amen.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are some of the actors and actresses that you admire? You know a lot of people.
I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
In some of my quotes, I go with Meryl Streep, Viola Davis, Ian McKellen. Peter O'Toole was phenomenally just an exceptional actor to me. Of course, there's Denzel, there's Don Cheadle, and the list goes on. Kerry Washington, I love seeing her preparation. I love seeing John Travolta. I was in The People versus O.J. Simpson. And just studying him and his preparation as he played that attorney really blew me away because he went all the way there. And what I mean by that, he went into the fifth wall where he actually became subconsciously that character that defended O.J. Simpson. It was amazing, his transition. You didn't see Travolta anymore. And the same with Courtney B. Vance. Same thing, because he played Johnny Cochran. Yeah.
2013, you had a role as a gunnery sergeant named Johnson in a short film called The Marking. But let's fast forward to 2017. I remember this movie that you were in it. You were an inmate named Washington. It was a short film called Redemption.
Oh my God. Man, where'd you get this from, man?
I do my homework, bro.
Ron, I tell you, you never cease to amaze me. That was directed by Ray Spees.
Yes.
Former editing supervisor for, what was that? The Sopranos.
Right.
And he came out of retirement and wanted to do a film. I went in for the audition and I booked the role. But to give you a synopsis of that, it's an inmate that rapes a woman. He has his way with her. He violates her, which is against the law of nature. But what he didn't realize is that her son was in the closet looking at this vile activity. The son becomes of age and finds him, because now my character is up for another murder. And he finds me in the intersection of going from one prison to the next. And he finds me alone with his attorney, and we're at the interrogation table. And he said, I just want you to know that what you did, which was totally immoral, actually led to my having a beautiful sister. And he pulls out this photo. He said, I just want to look at your face and tell you that you have a daughter. So that woman that I raped did not abort the child. She kept the child. That was played by the fantastic Berna Roberts. Berna Roberts is an exceptional actress. I love you, Berna, if you're watching. And we did a couple other movies together. But she ended up with the child. And I just break down in tears because it would be within a day or two that I have to go to the electric chair.
We have a small clip from Redemption.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Roll it.
Don't nobody know I'm here. Think I'm secure enough now? I'm getting ready to go back to Texas to be executed.
Get off of me.
Take a seat.
And that's what got you here, right?
Come on, knock it off, Washington.
I don't give a damn.
What the hell is it, boy? You wasting your time. Lopez, get me out of here.
The results may change your mind.
All I can say, marvelous role.
Thank you.
Marvelous work. I love
Thank
this. A good actor doing a good role. The story that you just told us, I mean, the rape, that was your child and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It gets human. That's real. Happens all the time. Hate to say it.
Yeah.
Then had a character like yourself to get in there and do that.
Yeah, exactly. Which is tough. The danger of it all is that sometimes you may not find your way out of that character.
Gotcha.
You can get really lost, and you could go so far into the rabbit hole that you cannot seemingly come back out.
Okay. 2019, you did Black Monday. That was you, Don Cheadle, and Regina Hall. 2020, this year, so far it's been a good year for you. You've got 2 movies in the can, including Man with a Band, where you play Pastor Johnson.
Yeah. Yes. Should we start with that one? Yes. Pastor Johnson? Yes. Pastor Johnson was a very candid pastor of a community church.
Yes.
And one of his parishioners had just wanted to borrow the community van. And I had to sign them out of the book, which is the inventory list that lets me know who has the van and when the van is going to be returned. It just so happened that that particular parishioner, who was like the pillar of the community,
Right.
returned the van back 2 days late. And as a result, he has a personality of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And he goes out late at night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, abducting and raping women to the point where he is using a reciprocal chainsaw and power tools to dismember them. So he brings the van back late. In the process, the detectives who were scouring the community trying to find the van, they see it parked down the block from the church that I'm the pastor of, and decided to pay me a visit to ask questions as to who the van was or who it belongs to. And I told them that it belonged to Lucius Boyd. And Lucius Boyd was the one that was committing all those murders. And you would never know it because he looked very pious, a righteous guy that's trying to live his life right by God and Jesus Christ. And lo and behold, he's Dr. Jekyll at night.
What a role.
Yeah.
Gotta move fast a little bit. We're getting run out of time. Let me go back to 2018. You were in a play called The Penis Monologues, The Long, Hard Truth. I hear that you had reviews, 6 sold-out shows. In fact, the play was the most talked about play in 2018. Is there talk of bringing that play back?
There is talk of bringing that play back. That's written also by a wonderful writer. Yes. I love her. Hopefully she's watching. Her name is Karen Roberson. And it engulfs it's an ensemble of 10 men that give their story, unlike the contrasting difference of the vagina monologues.
Gotcha.
Only this time it lists the differences of these 10 men that are going through different states of experiences as they live in America.
Yes.
One loses their partner. Yes. Their good friend gets shot on the grass. There's another one that gets molested by the uncle. I play the I do. Am I allowed to say it? I'm that committed brother to my wife, and I lose my wife to cancer. There's the I don't that has a little roughness around him, but he's trying to get there. It's really a wonderful body of work. And unfortunately, due to this COVID-19, it had to set back. Hopefully the play comes back because it needs to be seen, not just here in Los Angeles, but it needs to be touring nationally. And she's aware of it, and she's trying to do all that she can to get that word out there. Her name is Karen Roberson.
Okay. Just before we go, before we do, we want to, a lot of people. We got time just to see some of the folks that you see. Tony, can you go through those slides real quick? Okay. Let's show the first. Who is that? That's what's her name? Judy Pace.
That's Judy Pace.
Yes.
I'm trying to see it on my end.
Yes.
Judy Pace is a legend. If you're watching Judy, the last time we were at the Oscar after party. Yes. Together, and lots of fun, beautiful lady, and she has a track record that speaks phenomenally of itself.
Okay, another person, Richard Roundtree.
Oh, that's my dad.
Wow. Lily
we were on the red carpet for that,
yeah.
Ron,
Gotcha.
for the NAACP
Theater
Awards. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just saw Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin is yes. Another good friend of mine. That's at Gower Studio.
Indeed. Mary Wilson.
Oh, Mary Wilson.
Sorry, that's Jerry Weintraub before that.
Oh, yes. Another dear friend. To tell you really quick.
Yes.
He wanted to put me in Ocean's 13 with Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Within the next month or so, heart attack.
Got you. Wow.
Heart attack.
Mary Wilson is
next. He was Elvis Presley's talent manager.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mary Wilson, there's a quick one on her.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Yes.
I fell in love. I wanted to hold Mary's hand all night.
Beverly Todd is the next one.
Beverly Todd is another one. Phenomenal woman. Wonderful resume.
Gosh.
Yes. She goes all the way back to Sidney Poitier.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We got to run. I hate to do this. We got one more picture. It's a young man sitting in a chair on the set. Tony, could you put that picture on, please? Handsome young man. Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. Idress Degas. Idress, thank you so very, very much for stopping by today. We got to get you back again.
Yeah, I would love to come back. We have so much more to talk about.
Indeed.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Really
Ladies and gentlemen, Idress Degas.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, sir. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. The studio of Harvey Brandman Photography as an Art is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any and all photo packages valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on the Actor's Choice. Haiku, style, passion, heart. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Brewington. The book was inspired by the author's first exposure to haiku well over a half-century ago. This experience produced within him a deep passion to experience Asia, which he later did as a U.S. Marine. The book is available in paperback at lulu.com. That's lulu.com. Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and the Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon, so please get your copy today. And now a word from State Farm agent Carla Green. Roll it, Tony.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them, but a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
More information, call 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. Attention all actors. An Actor's Space provides classes and private coaching by veteran actor Rob Brownstein. An Actor's Space has Thursday night classes for working actors and Tuesday night foundation and technique classes for early career actors. The idea here is to build on each actor's strengths and who you are to help refine and reimagine your acting and your career. For more information, contact class at robbrownstein.com or call him at 323-646-1268. That's 323-646-1268. Thank you. And finally, if you have a product, a service, or an upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable. Thank you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
Why me?
Our family's falling apart, and I don't know what else to do.
That's the kind of shit you want to hear, right? Get out.
Okay. My next guest is originally from the Midwest. She's an avid rock climber. You just saw her climbing up a rock there, and she loves good chocolate. She's done film, she's done TV, she's done stage work. And she's got an outstanding biography with 37 IMDb film and TV actors credits. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jolene K. Jolene, welcome to the Actors Choice.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And before we begin, I'd like to thank veteran actor Ron Brewington. I always have something to say about it. I always put that veteran in there, put some emphasis on it, for having you here today. As you know, he teaches a school called An Acting Space, and I understand that you also attend the school and assist Rob. So thank you both very, very much for being here today. So where do we start? Okay. You have a BFA in theater and psychology from the University of Missouri. Please tell our viewers about the importance of going to school and getting a formal education like the University of Missouri, so that after the acting bug bites you, you get direction from what you want to be.
Absolutely. But before I do that, I wanted to say congratulations on, you said 193 shows. Is that what I read?
This is 195 today. 195.
195. Okay, great.
We're behind that.
That's amazing.
We get to 200, we're going to yell and scream. And
right, good.
Thank you.
That's incredible. Yeah, gosh, it's the University of Missouri. It feels like a lifetime ago now, but I've always been grateful that I did go, and that I had, it took me 4.5 years to graduate, but that I had that experience and formal schooling then to fuel what I wanted to do going forward. And it is important, Ron. I would suggest anybody that wants to, whatever you're going to do with your life, I think education is hugely important. So, be more decisive than me. I made my college choice last second, and it was convenient. And I love the University of Missouri, but I was not a planner. But it turned out perfect for me, and I've always been grateful that I did it.
I see that your training and education, as I call it, education, has never stopped since you got out of school. I went down your list. First of all, Meisner and scene study, working actor ongoing study, character and scene study, on camera, cold reading and scene study, and of course the basics of booking. My dear, you go to a lot of schools, either have them behind you or you're going now. And we'll talk about, but booking is very, very important. Can you tell our viewers what this booking is all about, please?
Yeah, so booking simply means you got the job. You went to the audition, you went to the callback, the producers liked you, the director liked you, the studio or the ad agency, it depends on what you're auditioning for. They all signed off. Yes, this person can represent our brand. This person can tell our story. And it's the, short of winning an award or your movie actually, making it out to screens, or you not getting cut from your TV show, booking is the victory for actors. So that's what I would say about that.
I noticed that you spend time also learning scene study. Put your finger on that and tell us what that is, please.
Absolutely. For me, I think scene study is one of those phrases that gets thrown around a lot as a general, kind of understanding how to break down a script. You could also call it script analysis. But for me, scene study has always been, okay, let me look at these 6 pages that I've been given. Let me understand where the beats are, where the shifts are, how I can best serve what's written. And that's an ongoing study for me. I don't believe there's ever a time that your brain just clicks and you're like, I will forever be able to break down any scene that's ever given to me, flawlessly. So I really benefit from a coach, from an instructor, from a mentor that can take material that I've never seen before and, walk me through that every time. Of course you get better, and you've got your own tool belt to fall back on, but really understanding what was intended by the writer, what the tone of the piece is, and then how to best tell the story, bringing who you are to it. That's scene study.
Gotcha. Jolene, let's take a look at your IMDb credit. In 2006, your first IMDb role, a short comedy role, is Jessica in Caught Naked in a Public Place. And then 3 years, it's on your IMDb. When I saw it, I said, let's say it and just move on. Don't
sure.
Don't get into it. 3 years later, 2009, there you were as aboard the USS Enterprise crew, a member in Star Trek. Yes, it did. Remember that?
Yes. Which day?
Do you remember that? Star Trek?
Oh, yeah, it was only one of the highlights of my life at the time. It's not even, I mean, I was on set for a good month, you know, and they cast the bridge crew, and then some of us were lucky enough to kind of get thrown lines here and there. You know, I ended up with a line, "We've got a breach on C deck," as you're hitting the console, and that didn't make it into the final cut of the movie, but I know it was there. I know that I served Starfleet to the best of my ability. And I had grown up watching Next Generation, and I went back and watched the original series, but just for that to be at the beginning of my time in LA, for me, at least that year, I was like, well, I've made it. I've arrived. But it was at the time, it was a real dream come true.
What was after you saw the movie, what was your favorite scene in the movie? Your favorite scene?
You know, there's this, God, I even remember seeing it in the trailer first, and then I looked forward to seeing it in the movie, but there's one line, and Chris Pine delivers it beautifully, and he's got this desperation in his voice. It's towards the end. It's been so long since I've seen it, but the line is, he looks at Spock and he goes, "I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I only know what I can do." And I just needed to hear it at the time. And I loved it in the context of Star Trek, and it's become a mantra since then. So I was like, what a great question.
Yeah. Well, I got that question. I don't want to brag on this, but I've spent about 15 years on the junket circuit.
Ah, okay.
And I've seen a lot of movies and whatnot. And one of the things that I did was an Offspring on a show that we were doing. I would always ask all the celebrities that would come through on the circuit, what was your favorite scene? I'd always ask that question. And we made a show out of what your favorite scene was. We made a show out of that.
I love that. It's like you've been doing this a while, Ron.
A day or two. One would say. Fast forward to 2016, past Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, Johnny Nitro, and others, to a short action adventure called Beyond. Remember that one?
Very, very much. It's so funny. I was just thinking about that before I hopped on here. It was one of my favorite things I've done, especially in independent film production. The director, Jeremy Hakoun, had probably the most specific vision of any director I've worked with. Just, I want to pay a beautiful homage to Spielberg. He studied every one of his shots. He wanted to really do justice to the Spielberg way of making films when he cast and he shot that. And he was so intense. It took me a while because I tend to be a people pleaser. So his intensity at first it took me a little bit to get used to. And once it clicked though, it was great. And the kid in that movie, Aidan Flynn, amazing. I keep thinking I'm going to see him on one of these, superhero shows, but it was a really, really challenging, but really rewarding project to work on.
I noticed that as I went through your IMDb credits, you seem to like short film. You got 18 out of 37 of those films, all short films.
Do I have 18? But wow, I didn't even know there was a phase. There was a stretch of years where it was just, but because I haven't done a short film in a while. But yes, and I hit quite a few of those.
Yes, you also like TV series. You got 13 of those guys. Any special reasons why you like to take those short films versus a full film where you're out there for 2 or 3 months?
It depends. The short films for me were, in the stretch of years where I did so many of them, it was a really great way for me to explore maybe what my casting was. I didn't really know at the time. You kind of fumble around and see what you can, where your personality is best suited. But it was a shorter time commitment, usually intense subject material that let me explore a lot in a very short period of time. And the feature films that I have worked on, for me, have been still great, but the punishment, that's not a good word to use, just the grueling nature of what you're doing in the longer term. I just gravitated to short films so I could, get quantity and a lot of exploration under my belt. So that would be why.
Got you. I've seen some actors, what they'll do, since they're also doing stage, they'll take short films so they can go to a stage play.
Yeah.
At the same time.
That's what I mean. Same thing. You've got a great bit of acting you can explore in the short film, but then you've got time, to do other things as well.
Other TV and film roles that you did included The Force in 2018. And let's see, this year you did Hollywood Fringe.
Oh, that's right.
It's in post-production right now.
Ron, this is great. This is great talking to you because I forget what I've done. That's right. Hollywood Fringe was cast by a phenomenal casting director, Beth Holmes, and I got to work with a director team from Seattle on that. Yeah, that was fun. And that's not even that's not out yet. Yeah. Oh, I have stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, it's a musical. So how's your singing and dancing? You okay on that one?
I did no singing and dancing. I did a lot of standing around and looking hot and judgmental. That's what I was cast to do in that film. Which,
like that, okay.
Thinking, look, that's what I was told. That's what I did. So
okay, that's what you get paid for. Do what you're told. You go up there and start no stuff, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about this little lady. She's a very versatile actress. Besides having 37 actress credits, she has 2 producer credits, 2 stunt credits, 1 writer, 1 art department, 1 second unit director, an editor, and several others. Wow. What's it like being as you are, as versatile as you are? What's it like?
You think what's that like?
Yes, you do everything.
Gosh, I know you're making me feel great about myself, Ron.
You are good. Tell it like it is.
You know, to be honest with you, I don't know personally another way to be. I always thought if I were an engineer or a veterinarian, which is what I went to school to do when I started out, and that quickly fell away in favor of acting. But I want to know how everything works, and I want to just be able to, like if you're running a starship, you need to know how engineering works. You need to know, the command structure. You need to know at least enough about, what your medical people are. You just have to know a little bit about everything. And so I've always viewed filmmaking like that. And I think directing would be in my future. I would love to do that as well. So if you continue the analogy, and that's like being a captain of a starship, then I am doing all these versatile things so I can put in that time and be at my best when directing.
So you do want to be a director. I know you get tired of hearing all these things about the shortage of women directors. That gets boring after a while. Why don't they just leave it alone, let the ladies do their job, and they'll have a good time. Everybody's happy.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you, actually. Shortage of women directors. I've had people really pressure me in a way to like, oh, you should direct because we need more women. I'm like, what? What if I just directed because I want to direct? I get that it's an important conversation to have, especially if opportunities are being denied to women, or if it's not as friendly an arena for women. But I got to tell you, I mean, so far I've not experienced. Nobody has ever told me, well, you're not going to be as great a director because you're a woman, or maybe, so I agree with you. Let's all have a great time and do what we're good at.
What you good at, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Jolene also does, you ready for this? Commercials.
Whoa.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And she's good at it, too. Tony, roll that cut, would you please?
Processor inside these 2-in-1s are powerful enough to be a laptop and a tablet, so it's the best of both worlds.
Let us show you what a 2-in-1 can do for you. Expert service, unbeatable price. Best Buy.
You about ready?
And sometimes I'm even the, can I have a few more minutes guy?
Dine upon request in First in Business on American Airlines.
Good morning.
There's something not right about Jane.
There's something not right about Jane.
Where'd she find a payday? Her golden vajayjay?
The Center for Lotion toys with my emotions.
Send her to hell because she's evil, I tell you. It's time that we ended her reign.
Oh! Hi!
Looking good.
All right. Okay. Commercials.
Yes, sir. Well, you've gone back and grabbed some of these. Some of this is older material that I forgot. It's such a pleasure to see it again.
Yes.
So many folks that you see on screen. We're friends now. Sometimes you have trouble remembering when and where you met people. Like, oh, we're in commercials together.
Gotcha. Okay. We got a few more minutes. We're running out of time. So, okay, let's go back to the school where you were teaching and working with Rob Bromstein.
Yeah.
He has can you show that plug there? Commercials Gym. There you go.
Yes.
Now the dates, that's an older one. I don't think that date is that a good date?
No, yeah, that is not current. Our website, commercialsgym.com, that's got we start the next round. It's a 4-week course on May 27th.
May 27th. That date is good. That's good.
Yeah, it's all online on Zoom. So we try to make it super easy for people. And we think it's super important to keep a sense of community and keep training while this quarantine stuff is happening. But it's a fun school, and I love it.
This course is good. Can you tell us what you get out of it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Rob and I, he's been teaching for 25 plus years. Commercials have been my bread and butter for the last 5 to 7 years. And there's such a need for good actors in commercials. So basically we run people through every type of spot. So every tone, we hit commercial improv, we put people on camera, watch playback, we give feedback based on, what we're seeing. And we do the best we can to give people individual instruction so that we can see where that actor's at, where they need to go, and challenge them accordingly. So it's not just the same curriculum for everybody. It's something we really stand by. And then we personalize that sort of, advice and talking about agents and headshots. We try to cover all of it, but hopefully send people out into the field and feeling like they know what they're about, and they can walk into an audition room feeling like I know how to do my job.
You get your bang for your money when you work with Rob, because I've gone to some of his shows that he does, trainings, sessions, whatever they are, and it was amazing. I mean, you're sitting there, and he's going to call you up.
Absolutely. And
he's going to ask you, now do this for me. We talked about it. And he's going to evaluate you. Classy. Now you work with him also. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. There you go. You guys. There you go. You and Rob. You guys are doing your thing.
Absolutely, man. And the thing is, and I should mention, so I work in commercial casting as well. So for the past 5 years, you see me there behind camera. I've been a commercial session director. So I'm the one during the casting day, bringing the actors in, telling them where to stand, what to say. I film them, I edit the footage, send it off to the director, the producer. So Rob and I tag team it. He's working as an amazing teacher who operates with scalpel-like precision. He's able to size people up and go, hey, here's what's holding you back. Which amazing. And then I come in as a session director and an actor, and I give people camera awareness notes and other little tidbits to make their audition as strong as possible. And then Rob and I work together to break down each commercial spot so that it's not, I think a lot of people look at commercial scripts in particular, like it's a prison and it restricts their acting choices. So we try to get that out of people's heads as best we can.
Okay, we got to go, but would you please give our viewers the telephone number, how to get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call Rob or myself. My phone number is 818-983-6914, and that website is commercialsgym.com. You can also send us a message through there. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so very much. You're looking good. You're staying in shape. You work with so many famous directors. It's a shame, and more to come. But thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Jolene K.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
Thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm Agent Collard Green, and Rob Braunstein's Actor Training School and Agents and Actor Space. And much, much thanks to our guest, actor Idress Degas, and actress producer Jolene K. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Jolene, thank you very much. I'll send a letter to you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.